Hello and welcome to the Crabbie's Changing Room chat ahead of tonight's game, which is a 1990 fixture against France in Paris. John Manson, a game that you know well, but before we throw to you, we'll do the introduction to a man who doesn't need one. The current Scotland head coach, but the standoff from that day. Gregor Townsend, how are you?
Very well. See, we've got the three baldies today.
Indeed.
Hair's always a talking point. Doesn't matter who we get on. We always have a discussion about hair.
Now we could use coronavirus as an excuse, just saying we're cutting it a bit shorter, but I think we were all in the same boat before coronavirus hit. So, John, we're going to discuss with you, because this is clearly the game that you had a look back on a few weeks ago with Kenny Logan on for another game. So
yes, I've done a deep dive on this game a few weeks ago. I looked at the wrong game, Gregor. So I've studied this one in detail. But this was again, I say this every week because we pick some belters of games, but this was an absolute cracker of a game, and Gregor was a massive part of that. The standouts for me was Gregor scoring his 5 tries in each of the championship games, and I think, or it was 4 tries, but he scored one against Italy as well, with a friendly against Italy. So you had the full sweep of tries that year. But before we go into the game, Gregor, I don't know if you remember this. The thing that I remember mostly is the national anthem. Can you remember the anthem they played? It was half speed.
Yeah, it's always poor out in Paris. You can't sing along with it. The brass band.
But it was. I think the players had finished the anthem in about 2 minutes, and it went on for a further 2 minutes. And the players were just it was excruciating to watch.
A slow waltz.
It was terrible. Typical French though back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think in the build-up to the game, the exciting thing was we're going to be playing at Stade de France. So playing in Paris is always a thrill. You get the atmosphere, you usually get good weather, the pitch is great. And playing at Parc des Princes up until that point was one of the best experiences you can get in rugby. But we arrived the day before the game to this futuristic stadium. It hosted the Football World Cup final the year before, first opportunity for us to play, and it looked outstanding. 80,000 people. So no, we didn't mind the anthem. We just wanted to get out there and play.
But this game, the 1999 game, I've read it quoted somewhere that you have said that this was one of your favourite moments, if not your favourite moment in a Scotland jersey. You've got great memories of the game itself, and the team that was around about you as well, especially that back line. It was a special back line that you guys had back then.
Yeah, look, it probably is my best memory playing for Scotland. Given that we were able to win in a venue which was very tough to win, the way we played, everything just clicked from around 7 minutes till 37 minutes. And we'd been on a journey that season where we just got better and better. We were training really well. There was a real connection with everybody in the group, and this game was a culmination of that. There was a sense of flow throughout the team that if one person did something, the other person reacted automatically to what they were doing. Passes stuck, and we played with real confidence. You
had Gary Armstrong inside you, a guy you would have played with many times, and John Leslie at 12 outside you. How important was that combination to the way you'd played, not just in that game but throughout the championship?
Well, really important. I think the year before we'd gone on tour to Australia and showed signs that we had some very good attacking players. We had a really good win against New South Wales, and in the test matches against the Wallabies, we played some really good stuff in attack. But the addition of those experienced players, so John Leslie, who's an experienced player from New Zealand Rugby, Alan Tate had been experienced, been a Lion, played for Scotland, and Gary Armstrong, also a Lion, played many years for Scotland. That really took us to that next level of people that were not, they wouldn't take a backward step in anything. And Gary especially, he was so tough on the field. He was like having an extra forward at times, but also he realised that we had a lot of strengths out in the back line, so he got that ball away quickly. And when you look at the game, you probably think, some great tries and attacking rugby from deep. But there was also a tough edge about how we played. And Gary led that. He would follow through in tackles and just stay on someone for a bit longer. And Budge Bounty would show the opposition his studs while rucking. Scott Murray had a real edge about him. And that's what you need. You need tough players that are willing to take on the opposition with physicality, as well as the confident players who wanted to take on the opposition ball in hand.
Gregor, you don't go to Paris, and I've talked in depth on this, but you don't go to Paris and win a game without the forward pack setting the platform. Talk us through how good that starting eight was that day. It
was outstanding, and it tends to get neglected when you think back over games during that season, because we scored some great tries, and guys like John Leslie had real big influence on our games, and Glenn Metcalf was man of the match that day against France. But if you watch the game, watch what the forwards do at the breakdown. Their body height was outstanding. It was traditional Scotland, rucking, producing quick ball, taking the ball and pick and go. And we had a really good pack. Like Scott Murray was player of the championship, outstanding in the line out, very good in the loose. Stuart Grimes came into the team and scored a great try against Ireland, but was a real good compliment to Scott. With Tom Smith, who played in the earlier games, unfortunately was injured for this, a British line. Gordon Bullock would go on to be a British line. Paul Burnell was a British line and was playing at the latter stage of his career. And then you had the back row. So that game, the selectors decided to go with two open sides, Budge and Marty Leslie, and it worked so well. They got on ball a lot. They have really hassled the French team. And Stuart Reid, who was playing in France for Narbonne, was excellent. So the forwards gave us a platform to attack that space out wide.
What's your memories, Gregor, of the next again day? Scott Murray talked to us a little bit about the fact that, and you made the point earlier on, that you expected England to win that game. But were you together with the group watching the game?
No. I had a game with Brive on the Tuesday, I think, a few days later, a cup game. So I had to go back to Brive, and we were meant to be in a training on the Monday morning. Stuart Grimes and his lovely wife Trish, I think maybe pulled a sickie at work. I shouldn't be putting that out publicly. I'm sure time's gone by now. But they were going to stay a couple of days with us and go a bit later back to Newcastle. So we'd had maybe a couple to drink, a couple of beers extra to drink on the Saturday night. So we were tired on the Sunday. We got the train from Paris down to Brive. Everyone went to bed. And I'd set an alarm to watch the England-Wales game, which I think was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd got up, but nobody else got up to watch it. Half-time, England were well up. They'd scored 3-0, I think. And then the second half, it was quite getting closer. It was only 6 points in it. So I remember going through and saying, Grimes, you better watch this. And he was like, are you sure? Okay, it better be worth it. And obviously it was worth it with what happened in the last 2 or 3 minutes of that game. Scott Gibbs scoring a try and Neil Jenkins kicking the conversion. So Grimes and I had a bottle of champagne ready just in case. We finished that off quickly, then went into town for a few drinks. Brive on a Sunday night isn't the busiest place in the world, so we had to get a friend of the club to open up his cafe, and we got a couple of the Brive players, Olivier Magna, who played for France as well. They joined us, so we carried on the celebrations. But disappointingly, we missed out on the great occasion at Murrayfield where like 10,000 people turned up.
We always try and compare players from the past to players now. And you know who you get compared with quite a lot, don't you, as a player?
Yeah, similar traits, that's for sure.
And how can you see a lot of that in yourself? You and Finn, can you see a bit on the pitch?
Yeah, look, I think Finn's a much better passer, much better kicker, and we have similar running games, and we look to offload out the tackle. I think we both had the same mindset of the challenge of taking on a defence, and at times it used to put me in trouble. If there's 2 defenders up against you, you'd be going, right, how can you still take on these 2 defenders? Whereas as I got through my career, I realised there were other ways of manipulating the defence. the kicking game became something that I did more and more. Whereas the 10s nowadays, Finn and Adam and others, they've got that awareness of the kicking game in terms of how it can get you better ball, how it can manipulate a defence further out. So they've definitely got more balance and more variety in the game than I did back then.
Well, Gregory, it's great to have you on and talk about that time in a Scotland jersey. You get quizzed an awful lot at the moment about your current role to Scotland, but hear about that special time that you had, as well as some of those players you were playing alongside, has been brilliant. So thank you very much for your insight, and let's look forward to a fantastic game.
A pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Gregor.